Hey, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300 plus employees at
This man right here is looking to file a lawsuit against Coldplay for this event right here, stating that he was essentially turned into a meme as his life was completely ruined. Now,
getting back at me, I exposed the corruption in their company, and now the person standing on their side is my ex-wife, Gwyneth Paltrow.
So Chris Martin just got hit with some news that has him fuming. Word is his ex-wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, has linked up with Andy Byron in what's looking like a full-on tag team to drag his name through the dirt. And he is not having it. As most of you know, Gwyneth is basically the queen of rich people nonsense, and now she's starring in a paid promo for Astronomer, the same company whose now ex-CEO, Andy Byron, is gearing up to sue Coldplay over that infamous kiss cam scandal.
First off, I'd like to start off by saying Chris Martin is a little rat and a snake, and Coldplay is the worst band in human history.
Here's where it gets messy. Sources close to Chris say he's convinced Gwyneth knew exactly what she was doing. That this Astronomer ad wasn't just a gig, it was a calculated petty little strike meant to hit him where it hurts. And why? Well, apparently Gwyneth walked away from their divorce without the payout she wanted. And now she's playing the long game to wreck everything Chris has worked his entire career to build.
Have to work almost twice as hard and be twice as good because people are ready to pull you down.
And let's not forget, Gwyneth's a textbook Nepo baby, while Chris clawed his way up in the industry without a silver spoon. Of course, if you ask her, she'll say Nepo babies have it so much worse. Please, the irony is too much. Now, Andy Byron blaming Chris and suing Coldplay, that's a whole new level of audacity. And Gwyneth, this is the same woman who swiped her most famous movie role from her own roommate Winona Ryder, tried to convince people to buy candles scented like her, and once bragged she'd rather smoke crack than eat cheese from a can. And oh, trust me, it gets worse. Gwyneth's goop empire might look polished on the outside, but behind closed doors, it's a whole different story. Several former employees have come forward accusing her of running a toxic, fear-driven workplace, the kind where people walk on eggshells and dread coming in. Honestly, it's giving Ellen DeGeneres 2.0 vibes, but with even more expensive face creams and overpriced vitamins.
The other girls I worked with at Goop, they all shared the same, kind of belief and sentiment about her. People do tiptoe around her.
So yeah, it's totally on brand for Gwyneth to cozy up with someone like Andy Byron, a man with his own messy cheater reputation, just to take a jab at her ex-husband. But the question is this just about chasing a quick paycheck, or is she deliberately plotting to wreck Chris Martin's career out of pure spite? Well, Chris is convinced it's the second one, and honestly, he might be onto something.
Astronomer, the company with the viral Coldplay CEO and HR head, is trying to make light of the situation with Gwyneth Paltrow commercials, but they are not funny at all. Because no matter how much they try to make light of the situation, it's clear that this was an extremely toxic work environment.
Here's the tea on this Astronomer drama. Gwyneth is going full villain mode. She's allegedly gunning for Chris's legacy just because their divorce didn't swing in her favor. She wanted more cash, didn't get it, and now she's aiming for payback. What makes this even wilder? Gwyneth is actually richer than Chris. Her net worth is sitting at about $200 million, while his is around $170 million. So if this isn't just about the money, what is it? Well, here's the thing. Gwyneth was raised with a silver spoon so shiny, it could blind you. Her mom, actress Blythe Danner, once flat out said the only reason people dislike Gwyneth is because they're jealous and she's better than them. And get this, Gwyneth allegedly thought she was too pretty for Brad Pitt and even looked down on him for having simple Midwestern roots.
Gwyneth Paltrow famously had a hot and heavy romance with Brad Pitt, but she apparently thought the actor was beneath her.
She had a different upbringing than Brad Pitt did, and she felt like she was more sophisticated and smarter than him. And when she was filming Emma, the 1996 movie, she actually had a crush on Hugh Grant. She thought someone like that might be better suited to her pedigree.
So, yeah, when you put it like that, it's no surprise she and former Astronomer CEO Andy Byron clicked instantly. Same level of arrogance, same taste for drama, and now they've officially joined forces to go after Chris. Chris Martin, in case you missed it, is right in the middle of a messy storm. Just 2 weeks after soon-to-be divorced Andy Byron got caught on a Coldplay concert kiss cam with his side chick, astronomer HR executive Kristen Cabot, who by the way is also married, astronomer turned around and hired Gwyneth Paltrow to star in their new ad campaign. The video dropped across astronomer's socials with the caption, "Thank you for your interest in astronomer." Now, on paper, hiring Gwyneth might look like a classy business move, but make no mistake, this is personal. Gwyneth isn't just a paid face here. She's reportedly backing Andy Byron's side behind the scenes like it's her personal mission. Why? Because Byron is bitter to the bone. He's out here publicly threatening to sue Coldplay, dragging Chris Martin's name through the mud, and insiders say Gwyneth is eating it up. Sources claim her team has been quietly fueling Byron's legal fight, hyping up his version of events, leaking damaging insider gossip to the press, and making sure the scandal refuses to die down. She's allegedly pulling strings with her media connections to keep Chris looking guilty in headlines. And guess what? It's working. The mainstream press is already running stories that spin this whole thing against Chris. We've got pieces like The Guardian's article suggesting the Coldplay kiss cam is too invasive, and even hinting that Chris Martin's quick comment when Byron and his mistress showed up on screen is somehow to blame for the CEO's spouse being bombarded with cruel Facebook comments. They even try to frame it as a symbol of the surveillance state and the internet's obsession with public shaming. But let's be real here. The kiss cam didn't wreck Andy Byron's life. Andy Byron wrecked Andy Byron's life. This man brought his side chick to a packed stadium of 60,000 people, knowing there were cameras everywhere, and hugged her up like it was a honeymoon date. That's not being caught by the system. That's publicly outing yourself in HD. Yes, it's awful that his wife got harassed online, but the blame doesn't fall on Chris Martin, Coldplay, or the poor kiss cam operator. Byron made a choice in public with a ring still on his finger. Actions have consequences, and this one just happened to go viral in front of millions. The problem, Andy Byron's the kind of man who's never had to face real consequences before, until now. We all know these high-powered CEOs hate owning up to their own mess, but this time, Byron couldn't just throw money at the problem and make it disappear. Nope, now he's trying to twist the whole thing, flipping the blame onto the very people who caught him red-handed. And that's how we get to the most jaw-dropping part of this circus. Byron's lawsuit against Coldplay. Now, first he dropped this ridiculous statement where he played the poor me card, painting himself as some kind of innocent victim while pointing the finger at Coldplay for invading his privacy. He actually wrote, "I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle." Cute speech, right? Well, buckle up, because it gets even more unbelievable. Byron is reportedly gearing up to sue Coldplay, according to the Economic Times. The plan? File claims against the band and the event organizers for emotional distress and invasion of privacy. Oh, and his lawyer, Cameron De La Shahi, even told Page Six that they might try to go after Chris Martin personally for defamation. All because Chris had the audacity to joke after the kiss cam caught Byron and his mistress. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
You look at the screens, we're looking and see who's out there to say hello to. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Uh-oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure what to do. Can we run with you? Okay, all right. Oh,
And get this, a source close to Byron whined to Page Six that he never consented to being filmed or publicly humiliated. He actually thinks Coldplay turned him into a meme. Excuse me? He made the decision to snuggle and make out with his married co-worker in the middle of a sold-out stadium surrounded by cameras. This wasn't some covert government sting operation. This was basic common sense ignored in HD. That whole "I didn't consent" angle? Please. He consented the moment he bought those tickets and decided to play boyfriend in front of thousands of strangers. Coldplay didn't humiliate him. He staged the whole show himself. The only reason he's crying foul now is because, for once, he got called out publicly and it's eating him alive that he can't control the story. What's even funnier, legal experts are calling this lawsuit dead on arrival. Public events like concerts come with zero expectation of privacy, and being caught on a kiss cam doesn't magically turn into defamation, harassment, or anything remotely lawsuit lawsuit-worthy. Employment attorney Ron Zambrano told Fox News Digital flat out, Andy Byron has no grounds to sue. In fact, this lawsuit of Byron's, dead, on arrival. He had zero reasonable expectation of privacy at an event like that. The waiver happens the moment you buy the ticket. Attorney Ron Zambrano didn't hold back either. He flat out said the idea that anyone could walk into a massive stadium concert and not expect their face might end up on a giant jumbotron is pure comedy. If Byron actually believes that, Zambrano said, he needs to listen to the advice he's probably getting. Keep his head down and stop wrecking his own career over this nonsense. But here's where it gets juicy. Byron clearly thought teaming up with Gwyneth Paltrow would help him smear Chris Martin and win over public sympathy. Except there's a twist. Gwyneth might be staring down some serious legal trouble of her own. Multiple ex-employees from her company Goop have stepped forward, accusing her of running a chaotic, fear-driven workplace straight out of a Hollywood drama. According to Amy Odell's unauthorized biography of Gwyneth, people who worked at Goop were even more traumatized than some ex-employees of Anna Wintour. Odell claims the company was a mess. No clear business plan, just ping-ponging from one half-baked Gwyneth idea to the next. And she didn't just call Gwyneth a bad boss. She painted her as a master manipulator who's been carefully crafting her public image for years, always knowing her best angles. Former staff reportedly called her erratic and childish. And get this, Goop lost at least 140 employees in just 2 years, including nearly every top executive, the CFO, CTO, CRO, general counsel, and chief content officer all gone. Odell says many employees were too scared to even speak her name, terrified after seeing Gwyneth take action against people she felt had crossed her. And the mess doesn't stop at the office. The biography claims Gwyneth has a long history of trashing people closest to her. After breaking up with Brad Pitt, she allegedly called him dumber than a sack of ish, and even complained she had to teach him the difference between types of caviar. She's also been accused of gossiping about her other ex, Ben Affleck, revealing intimate bedroom details behind his back.
Who was better in bed?
That is really hard because, like, Brad was like the sort of major chemistry love of your life kind of like at the time, you know? And then like Ben was like technically excellent.
Y'all, Gwyneth is starting to look like she'd be best friends with Jada Pinkett Smith or Ellen DeGeneres. And not in a good way. If these former Goop employees are telling the truth, it wouldn't take much for one bombshell expose to blow up her wellness empire overnight. And if that happens, she could be looking at an Ellen-style downfall, where the brand she built crumbles faster than her reputation can be salvaged.
Without blank at least once a week.
Oh, God, did I want to just get my terribly dirty sense of humor out there for a second, but I didn't do it.
Why not? That's what the blank is for.
See, this is where it's dangerous that we're friends because it's like I forget that, you know, this is on TV.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next one.